Hello, I'm Karen and welcome to part 4 of making the owl. Now if you went away and made your second piece, same as I did, and it should by rights fit completely over the top. You see that? So it's exactly the same. We'll turn it over that way around. There we go, yeah. So this is where we're going to actually, you've got all of the tails to every bit are all on the oopsie-daisy, are all actually on the left hand side, okay? And what we want to do is we want to get our hook. On the first one we did a chain one just to hold that secure. On this one we're not going to. And what we're going to do is we're going to twist the hook and come underneath the very last stitch that we've just done. Go into there, and then where the single crochet is finished there, we're going to slip stitch to there. Okay, so you need to make sure that this tail is tucked out of the way. You catch hold of your yarn, pull through that one so you've come through into the middle, come through there so we've come through everything, and then the last loop that's on the hook we're going to pull through there, and we'll pull this really nice and tight. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. We need to take off these now. Take off these markers so we haven't got too many tails, because obviously they're going to get in the way. Okay, so now all we're going to do sorry, I've got tickle. All we're going to do is in every single row we're just going to put our hook all the way through underneath each stitch. Okay, so we can see that you've got to look, that's where I've done the first one, this is the second stitch. The second stitch down, just so that you're completely sure, when you go through the front you can just see it's got like the knot over the top, and when you look at the back one, that's also got that, like what looks like a little knot over it. Slip stitch through there and hold that into place. Then the next stitch down is just like 2 strands. If you go they've both got the 2 strands on. So each alternate rows, one's going to have like the little knotty thing there. Pull through there. We want to keep these quite tight, but not so tight that you're scrunching up your work. And the next one is going to be the 2 strands. Hope you can see this alright. Sometimes the autofocus makes it go a bit blurry because I've come too close to the camera, so I'm trying not to. So this one's a knotty one. I would say a knotty one, I know. I know it's probably not the technical term for it, but this is a 2-strand one, but it's just so that you can understand, so that you've got that reference, so that you know you're always matching your stitches up correctly. And that's all we're going to do, is just keep on slip stitching underneath the 2 strands, pull the yarn through underneath a knotty one there, and then underneath the 2-strand one, and underneath a knotty one. Oops. Underneath a 2-strand one. Yeah, so by now hopefully you've got the gist of what we're doing. If you're more experienced at crocheting, you'll be sailing along and you might be at the bottom already, but I'm just doing this nice and slow, just so that for those people that haven't slip stitched 2 things together before then they know where I'm going. There we go. And underneath 2 of the knotty ones, underneath 2 strands, and now we get into where we was increasing up the area. So we've got a knotty stitch there, and underneath 2 strands, underneath a knotty one. Really sorry, I've got a tickle. There we go. underneath that one, underneath a knotty one. Oops. Sorry, I'm having to scrunch everything up because I've got the table, because obviously when you're holding it over your knee that wouldn't be happening, or wherever you're sitting crocheting. So, and then the last one of the row is the 2-strand one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually work, when I said to you to work underneath one chain at the very beginning, it leaves us with like the 2 loops to go under. But the very first one, where the knot is, where you've already did your cast on stitch, you want to go through that space there, and then if I can just part it slightly, you can see, and then at the back you want to go underneath the same place, and you want to get your stitches, your tails, and just pull those out of your way. Okay, and now we're going to work all the way across the bottom. So we're going to go where you've got like the little ridges of a stitch there, you can go underneath there and the next one along. So you're still going underneath. There's like 2 strands there, 2 strands there, and that's the one that was on my hook. Pull all the way through and into the next one, underneath 2 strands there and under 2 strands there, if I can find it. It's because I'm doing it so slow. I'm normally crochet, oops, I've snagged it. I normally crochet sitting down with everything on my knee. Okay, then I've got stuck. What have I done? I'm going to try and come out of there. Oh, I can see I went through a split of the yarn at the front. There we go. Look, pull that through, because everything should be really smooth and easy to go through, so that you know that it's in the right place. If you're struggling, it's more often than not because you've actually split your yarn, or sometimes actually with the chain work it's actually because you've done your original chain really tight. So and that's all we're doing, slip stitching across through there, there we go. Look, underneath 2 strands there and 2 strands at the back, underneath. You can see you stitch, you've got your 2 bits there, yeah, underneath there, underneath there. Personally, I know that if you're first doing this it's a little bit more complicated, but honestly it's a lot easier than trying to, in the actual original pattern it's got a square piece of felt that it wants you to then cut out the same shape as the owl that you've just made, and then sew this. Now when we're going to come up, there's only 1 strand there. Is there? No, there's not. There's 2. It's the way that they've gone together. And we need to make sure we're in the right place. If you look, if you pull your work apart, you can see that stitch is in. Can we see that? I've gone over there, so I want to come to this one. And we're going to work our way up the other side now. And then it's going to be a 2-strand one. Whoops a daisy. I'm going to stop that one. A 2-strand one there, and then a knotty stitch is the next one there, and 2 strands, and the knotty one there, which was the last part of the increase, which is just there on that side. I can't get it through. There it is. It's because you've done 2 stitches close together where you did your increase, so it can be a bit fiddly. And then this one's a 2-strand one, and then this is a knotty one there, a 2-strand one, a knotty one, a 2-strand one, oops a daisy, and a knotty one. Oh, I went straight through both sides, no mess in there. I'm just trying to like show you as separately as I can. Oops, I've got myself there. I was losing my tension. That was the knotty one, That's a 2-strand one and a knotty one. Oops. This is actually quite awkward for me because I actually haven't left myself enough room. Maybe I should have actually had my camera higher for this part. So I'm sorry that I'm dilly-dallying for those that are super fast. And we're going to wait. Oh, we're nearly done now, look. 2 strands there. A knotty one there. 2 strands there. A knotty one there. 2 strands. Oops, there. A knotty one there. And 2 strands there. Now, what I'm going to do is at this point now, because we want to, I'm going to turn it the other way around, but then I also want to be able to slip stitch it close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and cut off the tail there, and then I'm going to pull this all the way through, like that. Okay, and then we're going to get the 2 tail ends at the very bottom. We're going to tie those in a knot just to help keep our owl from coming undone in the middle there. We cut them a bit short so we don't need them too long. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn the owl the opposite way round. There. Okay. So it's like that. And you should have that shape. Now we want to get the stuff in. I did say to you about a good handful, and put the stuff in inside the owl. Make sure that you push it right down to the very bottom so that you've got a good shape, and that handful has filled it to about here. So I'm going to just add a little extra, just so that it's just sitting inside the top. We don't want it to be too much because we're going to slip stitch all of this top piece together now, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to get the work where on the very end of your work you've got this is where we finished this stitch, and then you've got the actual top row of your work there. What we're going to do is find the top of that one and then find the top of this one. Okay, and we want to be able to slip stitch them together, but you might prefer to put the wool through the gap and do it that way round, or you can just go through and just pick up the yarn. I'm going to go through the gap because it stops it from being in my way of the top. I'm going to slip stitch from there through there and through that first stitch and just pull that nice and tight. Okay, I'm a bit concerned. I've actually come a bit close to the camera, so I'm hoping that this works right. And then we're going to put through the next stitch, and slip stitch together. I'm going to do that all the way across, marrying up all of the stitches that we finished with our very last row. And when you're looking at the inside ones, remember it tucks in slightly, so you need to come up a little bit just to pull through. And through there, like that, and then through the next one, like that. Where? I've got that thing in the brain. Where? Maybe if I just squash the owl down a little bit, I can do it easier because I can actually do it this way round, so that, because this is how I would probably be working on my knee. and pull that through and through there. And this is giving us a lovely finish across the top of our owl, so that it's all nice and neatly secure, so that if we do want to give it to a child, we know that it's really nice and safe. And the stuffing that I've used in mine, I don't know, I can't remember which video it was, maybe it was when I was doing the dudes. When I go to stuff my projects, what I do is I buy, you know, those infill cushions. It's just a cushion, and then you just get your cushion covers to put over the top. Well, those are really inexpensive, they really are quite cheap, and they're actually they've got safety fibres inside them, because they have to have in case of a fire and things like that. So I use that because it's cheaper than buying toy stuffing, and I know that it's safe. So just thought I'd share that so that you can have inexpensive stuffing. There we go. There. We're nearly done, look. Through there, through there. We're getting right near the end now. Now, because you've turned it inside out, these stitches are a bit strange at the end, so you've got to sort of pull it out a little bit, catch hold of those stitches there, and then there is this stitch, because you can see your knot that's sticking up. There's one more stitch, and then you need to sort of tuck under to get hold of that last stitch there and pull that. And then, because you've already cut it off, all we're going to do is just pull that all the way through, and then we're going to tie this into a knot like that. It'll come on through. There we go. And then I'm just going to cut off some of that because it's too long. And get my needle, and I'm going to sew these bits in so that these are out of the way, and we don't need to worry too much about this. So I'm literally just going to go inside my owl, come out at a point there. When I pull this the first stitch in, oh, that came down too far there. Look, I've got a nasty stitch. I'm going to pull that back out. Sorry about that. Rethread the needle. We need to make sure that you come in closer so that you've got a nice thing, and then just come out somewhere through the owl. There. And then I'm just going to go back inside that same point and come back out in a random place through the body of the owl, and then that stitching is all nice and secure out of the way. And there you go. Actually, I thought it would be looking his eyes would be a lot higher up for him to be looking up, but he does actually look up at you, so that's nice. You can wiggle around the stuffing once it's all inside. I don't put any stuffing in the actual ears, because then that gives you the opportunity to be able to bend the ears up. Okay, so that's the main body, all nice and finished. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to make the wings and how to sew them so that they're really, really nice and secure. If you already know how you want to do your wings and you want to make your own design, that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to end this video here. So thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, thank you for your lovely comments. I will be making another video after the owl videos. And I'm just going to quickly say, I've actually been doing some technical stuff. And the little bit of the video where I said I was giggling at where the owl did the stunt, the baby owl, I'll be sharing that in its own special outtake video. Okay, thanks again, bye for now.